Varus Global Television.
Okay, this is it. This is your moment to lead. This is your moment to accelerate performance. What moment are we talking about? We're talking about every single interaction of every day. Hello, everyone. My name is Craig Ross, President and CEO of Varus Global and co-author of our new book, One Team. These interactions that we have with others, whether we are in a position of authority or not, are critical in terms of elevating performance. How do the best leaders do it? Let's start off with using any example. Imagine that you're entering a meeting and you're responsible for running the meeting. And so you walk in and this is essentially what the team sees. It's a blank piece of paper. And you know your job as a leader is to create that definition, to create direction. How do most leaders do it? They begin by talking and then talking some more. And then if they're going to throw in a question, and I mean this with great heartfelt appreciation for what leaders are attempting to do, they'll ask questions such as, does everybody understand? And are there any questions? Two of the most common leadership questions out there. Consider the possibility at the end of that monologue, at the end of the meeting, what participants see is, let's call it Kandinsky. It looks like this. It's the abstract art, if you will. There's lack of direction and lack of definition. Now, of course, there's going to be a few people in the room who have the courage to speak up and say, hey, I'm confused. I don't understand. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but it's typically the same people who have the courage to speak up. And it's the same people that we're looking to elevate performance in who perhaps for whatever reason aren't speaking up. And they're walking out of the meeting thinking Kandinsky, thinking abstract. This has got to change. And it can change by using what we call the high performance strategy. There are multiple components, important elements to the high performance strategy. The three that I'd like to emphasize here are 3 steps that create direction and definition. So when we walk out, we're not looking at Kandinsky, we're thinking Monet. And Monet has a beautiful painting called The Path in the Garden. And when you look at this painting, you're going to see the plants and there's little flowers, of course, but there is a definitive path where we understand guidelines, boundaries, and expectations. How do we do it? 3 steps. We start off by ultimately understanding and communicating what's important. Then equally, it's important from our perspective as the leader in this position, or whether it's again positional leadership or some other role, where we communicate why it's important. Now, these 2 steps, as rare as they are, we do see them often enough, so they are taking place, but it's not so much what I think it's important and why, it's of course what you think is important and why. And to ensure that we're not walking out with Kandinsky, the abstract, I now have to ask the question. The questions can be anything from, what does that look like to you? How will we ensure accountability to this? Why is this important from your perspective that we deliver on these guidelines, boundaries, and expectations? Kandinsky, Monet, direction, definition, by saying what's important, saying why, and asking questions. For more on this particular tool, I encourage you to check out any number of our books found on our Varus Global website,